welcome back. We are here with members of the Anglican Diocese Church. You have a spectacular weekend of fundraising and activities that we should be looking forward to.
Yes.
So joining us this morning, we have Bishop Philip Wright. Good morning. And we have Miss Audrey Andrew Meggs. Good morning. And Dr. Claude Stewart. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good
So
morning.
next weekend,
April.
Yes.
Good to be here.
Good to
Thanks
be here.
for
Good to
giving us
have
this
you
here.
opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
So next weekend, you are all embarking on a 2-day activity fundraising. Why is it that the Anglican Diocese needs to fundraise? What is the purpose?
You know, as I say, grace may be free, but it still costs.
Everything costs.
By the way, before I forget, please know you're invited to both events. Right?
Thank you.
Yes, it's going to be we believe, an exciting weekend for us. One of it is 2 events really. One is the fundraiser, dinner dance on the 9th at the Biltmore. Only a contribution of $100, that's all, for a fun evening, and they will talk a bit more about that. But on the Sunday, the 10th, is our Diocesan Family Day. And if I may just give a quick little background as to
Sure.
You may be aware that the Anglican Church has been in this part of the world, possibly going back to the late 17th century. Certainly in the middle of the 18th century, there was mention of the Anglican presence. Of course, we would have come with the British expansion, the colonial expansion. By 1776, we had our first priest or missionary. By 1812, we were laying the foundations for the historic cathedral, St. John's Cathedral. And by 1883, on the 10th of August, 1883, we became a diocese, which means we could have our own bishop, our own constitution, and in a sense, govern ourselves. For a while, we remained under the jurisdiction of Jamaica. So the Bishop of Jamaica for a while was still the Bishop of Belize. But that all changed following 1883. And so on the 10th of August, or the Sunday closest to the 10th of August every year, we try and celebrate when we became a sort of independent diocese. One year we would bring everybody from across the country into one location. We've been to Dangriga, we've been to Belmopan, to Corozal. This year we're coming back to Belize City. Years outside of that, we would invite the different congregations from around the country to do their own celebration in their locale. So one year we bring everybody together, otherwise you do your own thing. And it's meant to be a day of worship and thanksgiving, of course, but also just fun. And so there will be games for the children, lots to eat and drink, and prayer time if you want, a little prayer and counseling, and just a fun day. With worship, yes, but the rest of the day will be fun. And finally, I'll say quickly, for those who are, we will assemble at St. Mary's Church at around 7:38 on the 10th, the Sunday morning, for a parade through the streets from St. Mary's to All Saints.
Okay.
I Googled it, it's less than a mile, so
It's
that's a pretty good Sunday morning exercise. And then we hope to be by All Saints by around 9:30. The service starts at 10, and there will be a fun day of activities. So that's just to get people to know what is going to be happening. Now, on the 9th, the night before, and my good friends here will speak to that, but I just want to quickly, as a segue, also when we look at that history, the Anglican Church was really the first to move into education. Records will indicate that as early as 1807, there was a small elementary school. We don't know much about it, but by 1816, the Anglican Church, remember in those days there was a relationship between church and state that was quite close. started what was called the Honduras Free School.
Yes.
And it had only a grand total of 12 children from the formerly enslaved. And that's what started us. And in a sense, provided in some ways a model for what we now have, this partnership between church and state in education. You know, you have people who have their different views on that,
Yeah.
but you can trace some of it back to that. And of course, once we entered education, we started to have primary schools and so on. Eventually, we had 2 high schools, St. Michael's and St. Hilda's. They came out of a school that the Methodists and Anglicans once shared, St. George's, in the 1930s and early 40s and so on. And when St. George's came to an end, Wesley College was formed, St. Michael's for boys was formed, and St. Hilda's was brought along. And in 1982, St. Hilda's and St. Michael's became the Anglican Cathedral College, which is where we are today. And FSADB, the president and vice president are here, and FSADB, as they will talk more about it, means Friends Supporting the Anglican Diocese of Belize. And they have a long history going way back, and they can speak a bit to that now and to
the gala.
to the gala, which is maybe the more exciting thing for some people.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, okay. Well, Miss Audrey?
Hi, I'm the Vice President of Friends Supporting the Diocese of Belize. I don't know if Dr. Claude want to tell more about the history, but we've been in existence since 35 years.
Wow.
Bishop Desmond Smith asked a bunch of Anglican members, teachers, and graduates. I'm not a teacher, I was a graduate of St. Hilda's, to start this group with efforts towards supporting the diocese. And since that time, we have expanded, and Dr. Stewart could tell you a little bit more about that. But what we do is on an annual basis, we have a grand gala in New York. We have several supporting events, and all the proceeds of whatever we do goes towards a scholarship program of late. We fund students at the Anglican Cathedral College, which, as Bishop earlier mentioned, is an amalgamation of St. Hilda's and St. Michael's.
Yes, so the organization started in 1990. And so since 1990, this organization has been in existence. And as Audrey indicated, there were many things that we have done to fund the Anglican Diocese. One of the things that we started back in 1990 with Bishop Smith was the endowment fund. Now that is very important because we are now re-establishing that, but since 1990 in New York, a group of, and Audrey is one of the original members since 1990, and have gotten together to support the diocese. We have 2 basic roles, though. We are also the financial, we call it the fiscal sponsor of the diocese in the United States. So we are authorized to raise funds and channel monies to the diocese, and we've been doing that for several years.
So the gala will be in Belize or
The gala is going to be on the 9th, August the 9th, at the Biltmore.
Okay.
But we are, supporting that. We are hosting that. We have a big gala in New York in June every year, to raise funds. And currently, we have a scholarship. We have 25 students that are in ACC that we are supporting.
How does the Anglican Church either maintain its flock or grow its flock in today's society where it can be argued that people are moving away from religion and spiritual practices?
It's a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge across the board. Yes, people are moving away from the sort of established traditional expressions of the faith. I do think though people are still spiritual. They still desire to connect with God, and so it is for the church to also perhaps make some adjustments in terms of how you reach people and how you engage them and excite them about having a life of faith and so on. For us, and sometimes we look back at the COVID period and say, we almost want to say thank God for COVID in a strange way, but it forced us to move into the internet and to use the electronic media and so forth, online.
Yeah.
And so that is now one of the avenues that we are starting to embrace more and more. You have your supporters and your detractors, of course. There are those who say, people who watch online, well, they will stop coming to the physical church. I don't quite believe that, but it's a way to reach a portion of our membership and the wider community that won't come to church, but the message is still there. Support, we depend on organizations like this. We have several other international partners. We have companion relationships with other dioceses in other parts of the world. And we share missionary priorities and so forth, and out of that we get support for the work. But it is a challenge. To put it simply, it is a challenge in this modern world in so many ways.
So if our viewers would like to assist your fundraising efforts and so forth, how can they do so? How can they attend the gala? When and where? You said it was at Biltmore. Can we have a little bit more information?
Well, yes, the gala is also a reunion of all Anglican high school. And if you're not, a graduate of any of the Anglican educational institutions, we still encourage you to come. We want friends, and that's why our organization is called Friends, because it's not only made up of Belizeans, Anglicans, we also have Americans, other islands support our cause. So here in Belize, it's the first time we're doing this. We encourage everybody to come. Super Furia is going to be banging it.
Hype.
Yes, and that's a great band. So come, enjoy yourself. Good food, good atmosphere, good fellowship. You mentioned about expanding the church. Fellowship is also a part of what we do. And we carry this throughout, because sometimes it's workshop, having things that interest people, get them to be a part of us, and that's how, eventually they start seeing the value in it and coming to church and all that. So it's not only a physical thing of being in church, but maintaining the faith in different ways also. So get your tickets. Miss Mappy Smith, Mappy is on Racecourse Street.
Yes, she is.
And she owns a beauty shop there. So get your ticket there. It's $100 Belize. And you can also get tickets from the high school office.
And our office
the
as
central
well,
office.
on South Street,
So the gala is the 9th, which is at Biltmore at 7 p.m.
Yes.
And then the following day is...
following morning.
Following day.
Yeah, I know I'll have to be calling
Yes,
up
you
some
are.
folks. And maybe I need to set my own alarm clock because, but and we also want people to know that it's not just about money as well. I mean, there's so many other ways in which you can support the work of a church or really any organization that, in a sense, wants to make a difference. Doesn't always do it perfectly, but that is always the desire to make a difference.
And of course, the proceedings will benefit
Scholarships.
students.
And the overall work that we do as well.
All right.
And Clark will speak too, because we encourage independent sponsors. Anyone in Belize who wants to sponsor a child paid forward, they could also do that and contact us. We're online at fsadb.org.bz. So
One more time?
FSA, F like Frank, S like Sam, A is in Audrey, S is in Sam, DB, Diocese of Belize, at .org at
.bz.
.org.bz.
Well,
You could Google us.
And I just want to quickly,
Sure.
because these things come with a lot of sponsors,
Yes.
I just want to make mention quickly of groups like Boyne and Boyne, the City Council, Simon Juan, Ministry of Education, Citrus Products, Caribbean Chicken Niche, and so much more. And some of these groups will also have booths on Sunday at the so you could come and perhaps learn more about different things. There will be banners, history about the church. So it's for everybody. It's not, even though we're here speaking as Anglicans, we just want to know people to know that you can just come out
Yeah.
and spend some time with us and learn more about who we are, if you will, and so forth, including the two of you, by the way.
Wonderful.
With April, just one point for the gala. I just want to be clear that the proceeds for the gala is going towards the scholarships, to sustaining the scholarships, and the endowment fund.
Okay.
There's a $5 million endowment fund that is being established in order to support the infrastructure of the Anglican Diocese.
Beautiful.
So we encourage everyone to come out and to support us as we continue in this endeavor.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for joining us this morning.
Yes.
The 9th and the 10th will be fun-filled activities
Yes.
for not just the Anglican Church, but for Belizeans alike.
Precisely.
Thank you so much.
Precisely.
Thank you
and
so
thank
much.
you for the opportunity
Thank
to
you.
thank
Of
you.
course.
Yeah.
We are going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with more Open Your Eyes. Don't go away.